Democrats take aim at investor home purchases. Link. This is a law that makes sense and would not affect the vast majority of people that invest in RE. The gist? Anyone that buys more than 50 SFH should not be able to deduct depreciation and insurance on their taxes. But, wouldn't corporations just buy 49 houses in one LLC entity and the next 49 in another, and so on? And before you say but LLCs are pass-through entities or something like that, I can think of a handful of ways around that off the top of my head. Seriously, this is just typical politicians trying to get re-elected, or build one's resume rather than make any meaningful change. Honest question, what would this even do practically? Like real estate is super localized. I can't think of one company that has actual pricing power in their market without collusion with other firms. Limiting to under 50 units would just make it more expensive for renters since the bigger landlords can't have as much economies of scale. Or landlords would just make ownership entities with 50 units or less and contract out the management to another firm they own. Somebody check my thinking here. This would be so easy skirt around for any business large enough to own 50 units. Pure performative BS. Even if that law is passed, I don't see how it would be that impactful. Investors would at worst find a way to put a property in another name or holding if they exceeded any criteria or limit. I'm not a Democrat, but this is okay. If you buy 50 homes, the law kicks in. Please read the article. How many people actually have 50 SHFs in a single LLC? Personally, I wouldn't want that many in one LLC. Did anyone else click on the picture expecting an article to open? It was cool seeing the picture move on the screen. Goodbye depreciation, holoactive expensing. I'm personally against anything that raises they don't spend it well. Imagine taking 40 of everyone's money and still spending your way into a deficit. Why would anyone want to give these people more money? This is fantastic. As a small-time landlord, I've been hoping they do something like this. Democrats do anything other than legalize more housing construction. Investors aren't the issue. Legislation constraining housing construction is the problem. Many problems with this. First of all, slippery slope. Secondly, easy to avoid. Thirdly, what about builders? Interest expense is literally a business expense. If I use debt to run my business and my bottom line is smaller, why would I pay tax on expenses and not profit? Finally, it's stupid to limit this by numbers. 50 SFH in California could be a $100 million portfolio's 50 homes in bumfuck Missouri or Ohio can be a $2 million portfolio. Do we really want to prevent people from owning $2 million of real estate? Absurd. So if you own over 50 homes, you're not allowed to deduct legitimate expenses. Right. That seems reasonable. More government is rarely the correct solution. We should be alarmed that a political party thinks investors are predators. They're investing to provide us goods and services, those monsters. Always will a way to avoid this bill. Set up different entities, and buy as many SFH as you want. Demand-side regulation doesn't fix supply-side problems. More government isn't the solution. Government regulation is the problem. How would this affect investors that have their homes built? What if someone builds and rents 50 homes? I know several people that have done this. Is there an age limit on the homes that can be bought? Would developers be exempt? I don't have to read the article to know I'm probably okay with that. In fact, I think it's way overdue. Democrats at local, state and Fed level make it as cumbersome, difficult and unappetizing to build more houses. Then focus on sideshows like this to fix the underlying low supply issue. Good. Why are home investors being targeted? Aren't all business assets depreciated? It feels really weird that this subreddit is supportive of such a policy. This seems like a great idea. I know I've seen many extreme righties claim they want you to rent so they can control you or something bananas. But this is a step that helps average people buy homes. Why can't it be a non-partisan issue? The thing I can't understand is how people think this is going to make any difference. There are two possible outcomes. One, big investors stop buying homes, and all of those people who are renting those homes buy them instead. Demand exactly the same. Supply is exactly the same. Two, big investors stop buying homes for rent and their renters can't afford to buy them, so home prices drop and rental rates shoot up. This hurts home sellers and renters. I'm a Republican, but this is great news. I actually know Sherrod, one of the damn smartest people I've ever met. And probably the most ethical person in DC. And the giant scummy corporate landlords can suck it. I was hoping this would happen, but more aggressively. The tax code and monopoly profits on investors is the fat that can get trimmed to bring some balance back to this madhouse for primary home buyers. Too little, too late. They bought up the land. Our lords have returned. Massive liquidation of giant investor portfolios as this ruins their returns. Still won't flood the market enough, but helpful. I would be more interested in limiting foreign ownership of houses that sit vacant.